What's up, Internet? Hey, just want to give you guys a quick rundown of the new P6 and some of my first impressions having come from an EX30. So the EX30 I've had, I don't know, about a year, put 2,000 miles on it. It does have the Michelin Pilot Sport 2 tire on it, which is a bit wider, as you can see, compared to the P6. And that was honestly one of the biggest differences between this guy and this is the maneuverability, and I think 99% of that has to do with the tire. So yeah, just food for thought. I always wanted something that was a bit more maneuverable at higher speeds, and the P6 just fits the bill perfectly. So trying a new microphone setup today. Let's go cruise the neighborhood for a bit. One thing I should say also is I have a new pair of boots on today, so I don't know if my pads are going to fit exactly the same way, but we'll see. So a few perks of the P6. 1, suspension. It's amazing. It's the best of the best. 2, build quality. It's super freaking nice. Very quality, just a very quality unit. Everybody's gone over all this stuff a million times online, so I won't beat you to death with that. Oh, it does actually fit. Okay. But yeah, the biggest thing for me was, oh, these feel good actually, was the increased maneuverability, and specifically at mid-speed cornering. So what I mean by that is if I'm doing 20 or 30 or something, and I try to go around the corner, on the EX30, it was like I had to push really hard to get that thing to turn and use a ton of authority, and I'm 6 foot and about 190 pounds. So that got just tiring after a while. Like my knees would actually hurt after a long ride. And with this guy, no issue whatsoever. So I think it's really the sweet spot for maneuverability. And I know I could put spacers on the EX30. Some people suggested that, but I was kind of curious just to try something new, to be honest. So yeah, the wheel is it's great across the board. I have set it up with the pedal assist and pedal hardness, very similar to what Johnny Go Vroom recommends, because I've only had this thing for 2 days, so I was kind of just going with what people thought was cool. And I've modified it a little bit from there, but it's still pretty close. So I have the the pedal stiffness at about 35%, 40%. And then I guess I'll put it on the screen here or something like that, just exactly what my settings are. But I think I'm around, but again, I really like that kind of as a starting jump off point, especially if you've never had one of these before. And the major difference is that it makes your life easier when you're accelerating and decelerating, because it's much more sensitive. So you can dial that up or down quite a bit. I also ride with a negative forward slope of 4 degrees. So for me, that's kind of the sweet spot. So it still has a lot of punch. You can still really get into the power pretty easily, and you can really brake pretty easily as well. It's not quite as I think without the pedal assist sort of being set the way it is, you would have to really lean into this thing and get it to work kind of how you want. And with this, I think it's just a lot nicer. So yeah. Other thoughts. It's very, very smooth. I can't really believe how they calibrated this thing or how they tuned it or whatever you want to say. It's just butter the whole time. The thing is just super, super smooth. I mean, the EX30 was smooth too, but this is in a league of its own, I think. One other very unexpected but very kind of cool thing, which I was really not expecting, is that I can sit, I can ride seated, which I could never do on the EX30. I don't know why, but the first day having this thing, I just sat down, and it was just no big deal. I don't know why. And standing up and sitting down, that transition, which used to just be anxiety inducing on the EX30 because I've tried it a couple times. This thing, no big deal. which again, I don't know if it's like the pad setup or the calibration or the seat or I don't know, but it's great and especially useful on windy days, which unfortunately today is. So not ideal situations to be going super duper fast. But I will say it feels, I hate to say it, but it feels safer almost. You know, I know it's got tons of power. I've hit 50 with it so far on like day 2, and it felt just rock solid. So I'm not a speed demon by any means. I'm not trying to go 70 or 80 or whatever the hell this thing can do, which is just absurd. But I will say it's safer regardless because the high-speed maneuverability is just so much better. Like I can put this thing where I want it to go. I don't have to be putting in some sort of crazy input like I would with the EX30. So that part's really nice. The suspension is obviously much better, so if I do hit a bump or something like that, I just feel like it kind of absorbs everything in a much kind of more professional fashion, I'll say. I did change out the spring on the EX30 and the shock because it died about 6 months in or so. So, what else? Yeah, the setup was good. The setup was easy. The charger is really nice. The fast charger is really nice. Makes a bit of noise, but you know, I like the fact that it's 110 capable and it's 220 capable. So if you have 220, I think you can put 15 amps through this thing, in which case it charges fully in about, I think it's about an hour or an hour and a half, something like that, which is like, man, that's super fast. So the cool part is like if you were able to figure out where they have some electric car chargers like the J1772 ones, which are all over the place, you can just get a little adapter and hook it up and you end up with a 220 outlet. So you could go for long rides on this thing, figure out where the chargers are at, and then just kind of charge along the way, which that's really cool. So I did 30 miles with this thing yesterday, and cruising pretty good, but I think I hit 50% battery by the time I got back home. But I was doing, I don't know, mid-40s, low 40s, something like that most of the time. So that feels pretty good to me, like range-wise. I think the EX30 might beat it out range-wise, but considering how much more power you have with this, you know, that kind of makes sense. But again, it's like a car, you know, it's going to go through as much gas as you want it to based off how much throttle you're giving the thing. So, all right, let's see if we can find some open road. Yeah, so again, feels very smooth, very stable. There is a bit of wind today, so that kind of, it's a little jarring. Get hit with a gust or whatnot, but not too bad overall. And the big added perk with this is you can always just take a seat. You can always sit down. I think the next thing I really need to get figured out is just how to lean into the wind without compromising my riding position and feeling like I don't have as much control. So that's where I'm at. That's my homework. And I haven't really figured out the sweet spot yet, you know, like hopefully that just kind of comes with time and experience. But yeah, again, I mean, 43 feels totally chill, totally good. Just a lot of wind, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll go down here for a second. Oh yeah, the other thing, the weight. So, I mean, I'm used to an EX30, and it feels, I don't know, it feels similar-ish, except for the fact that it's just so much more playful and maneuverable because of the different profile on the tire. That makes all the difference. So it doesn't feel as heavy, you know. And you can also mess around with the new pedal assist settings and get the thing to be super snappy and responsive if you want. So you don't have to like really lean hard to get the power out of it. And again, I'm like a day 2 user, so this is all subject to me trying to figure out where the sweet spot is for me personally. But even with just Johnny Go Vroom's basic sort of layout, I think that's a huge. It's a really good place to start, if nothing else. All right, so I do like these boots, but man, they are tight. Oh. Seat stuff. Yeah, so again, I don't have the pads exactly set up how I like it, but they're pretty damn close. And for me, at least, it's easy just to go from standing to seated. And again, it's just really useful on days like this where there's a lot of wind. Because the weird thing is they come through the wind comes through these buildings, and then every so often you get a gap or something or a gust, and it's just like it's a little disconcerting. So seated. You're obviously a much lower profile, as much of a sail, it doesn't matter as much. Feels much, much safer. Despite being, kind of weird, not quite as comfortable on my ankles, but again, that's subject to pad setup a lot, so. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, if you are an EX30 owner and you are considering an upgrade, I would highly recommend, if you can afford it, to grab one of these guys, because it really is just in a different league. I mean, it's a wheel I can see myself just not messing with. Like, I'll just have this thing for forever. And I've had quite a few wheels in the relative time I've been doing this. I guess just for reference, I had a T4 Pro I still have, which I really like just for around town stuff. So I bought that, then I bought an Inmotion V13, which I had for about 2 weeks. Hated it. I thought I was just never going to be able to brake, because the wheel is just gigantic. It's a 22-inch wheel. It's super heavy. So yeah, I didn't feel safe on that thing at all. It's also just hard to turn and everything else. So I said no on that, and then ended up buying a Lynx, because everybody's like, yeah, Lynxes. And for me, the Lynx was terrifying. I wasn't a bad rider by then. I wasn't experienced, really, like super experienced. But that thing wobbled like a mother. I could not figure out how to get it from trying to not kill me whenever I was under braking. So I had that thing for about, 2-3 weeks. I was riding it every day. I was trying a million different things. I had the pedal lowering kit. Talking to everybody on the forums, and I think just the overarching vibe that I got from the responses was just like, yes, this is an inherently unstable wheel, so you get perks with that, but it also is way more prone to wobbles. So got rid of that, and everybody was kind of shaking their heads going like, why would you get rid of that? It's the best wheel ever, da 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 da. And I was like, I don't know, dude, I just don't want to die. So then I got the EX30, and I was immediately like, oh, this is what a stable wheel feels like this is possible. So just the way they have the geometry set up and the balance and battery boxes being low, it's a great wheel. The range is insane. It's got a lot of power, honestly. Like, I'd cruise that thing as, mid 40s, like something like that, low 40s, no issue. So yeah, it's a great wheel. And then rode that and had the T4 for around town type stuff. And then finally, this thing came out and said, okay, I need to go 70 or 80 miles an hour like the guys on the freeway. But I would definitely like some more maneuverability, and that's what you get with this thing. It's just a complete package across the board. It just does everything really well. And, again, I know a million people have said it's kind of a game changer, but I fully endorse that sort of sentiment. I do think this thing is a league of its own. And again, I'm on day 2, so right away it's like, oh yeah, this is accessible and not trying to buck me off, not trying to kill me. And I'm just stoked to get more comfortable with it and figure out exactly what settings I like and blah 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 and all that sort of stuff. All right, well, anyways, hope this helps if you are potentially on the market for a P6, but yeah, go get one. They're freaking awesome. All right, guys, have a good day. See you later.